Hey guys, Kristian Mischke here, and we'll be doing sensing blocks in this episode. Okay, let's get into it. So we're not going to go over all of these sensing blocks because some of them are a bit too complex. The touching block, mouse pointer, or edge, or other sprites we'll get into when we get into game designing so we can sense other objects, but that's not for this tutorial. Also, the touching color is a very handy block in Scratch, but we won't be going over it because it's complex. More complex than you'd think. Some of these other blocks we might go over later, like asking and waiting, but we will go over the distance to mouse, we'll go over the distance to, we'll go over key pressed, mouse down, mouse X, mouse Y, and current time. I'll press this button over here so you can see them, and we got our processing program. We'll start it like normal with our void setup. And this time we will need to see the screen, so we'll do size, bigger size of 600 pixels by 500 pixels. And okay, inside of here, let's actually do a void draw and put some stuff in here. We will be using quite a bit of knowledge from the previous episode, so if you haven't seen any of those, I recommend you go check them out now. And let's start with mouse down, because that sounds like the easiest one. So we're going to use an if statement. Make sure you've watched the last video to learn about those. And it's literally just mouse pressed. If I can spell this right. Pressed. There we go. Mouse pressed is the same as mouse down, okay? Inside of here we can print line clicked, like so. Run the program. Bring it up. Now when I click on the screen, it says clicked. And I can drag, and even if I drag all the way out here, it works too. I can display the X and Y position with mouse X and mouse Y functions like there. So clicked at, so we can click our mouse at X plus mouse X, that's literally how you type it, and then plus Y, and then let me make this a bit neater here, and put plus mouse Y, like that. Okay, run the program. Drag it up. You can see when I'm clicking on the window and like over here and outside, nothing's happening down there. When I click inside the gray area, that's when it says. And you can see as I drag it around, it shows where I'm clicking. I can even drag it off of our area, and it still senses it. But if I let go and then click there again, it won't. So you have to start with clicking on here, and you can drag it out, which is kind of interesting. Okay, let's draw a square where we click. So get your thinking caps on and we'll draw a little square. So first we'll set the rect mode to center to make things easier, like that. Then we'll draw a rectangle at mouse X, mouse Y, with those handy functions, just like mouse X here and mouse Y there, and a size of 10 by 10. Okay, we can run this. Drag it up, click in here, and whoa, click, 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 drag. Wow, we got a bunch of squares. So, whenever you drag and click, it creates a square there and draws it onto the screen. And when you click, click, drag, it's crazy. And you might be wondering, why aren't they disappearing? Because I don't want them to stay there. Well, maybe you do want them to stay there. Maybe you're making a drawing application and you do. But in my case, I don't. So, the reason they're not disappearing is because we're not drawing a big background over them. So what we need to do is draw a background at the beginning of the frame. And I'll just do a medium gray of 127. If you haven't watched my pen video, go check it out to learn about this if you're confused. Now when I drag and click, a square goes there. When I let go, it disappears. Okay, that's better. Okay, that's the mouse down, mouse X, and mouse Y. Now for key pressed. The way I like to do it is like this. I like to put it in an if statement in the draw function. You can also, well, first I'll show you the way I do it. So you type in key pressed, and this is handy. This means if any key is pressed, then do something in here. If you've been wanting that feature in Scratch, well, here you go in processing. You got it. Now, there is a void key pressed key pressed function like this, and whenever a key is pressed inside of here, you can do something. This basically works the same. I personally like this better, but there's also key. There's key pressed, key released, released. So that means when you let go of a key, and then there's key typed. So you can use those as well. I don't use those as much. I like to just do it inside of here. So now that we have a key pressed, we can print out what key we are pressing with just key. So this is the key that was last pressed. And I go in here. I still can click around and I got my square and it's printing out the X coordinates and stuff. And I can type in keys, N, H, here we go, a bunch of random letters, and also works with numbers. I can hold shift and press these numbers and letters and stuff, and all sorts of crazy stuff. Okay. Now it will, you will notice that it has a question mark. Let's see, I can do shift and make a question mark, but if I press like enter or shift or up and the arrows, then it gets a question mark, which means it's not working. So the way to do arrow key presses is different. So what you can do is if key equals coded, this means that it has special characters like arrow keys, and then otherwise then you can just do the print line, the regular one, like this. And then in here you could do if I'm pressing, well yeah, here I'll do one more example in here too. So if we are pressing the if key equals is a character, so if it equals H, then we'll print out hey. Otherwise, then we'll just print out whatever key it is. Okay, makes sense. So actually I'll tidy this up a bit by adding some spaces. Okay, so if the key is pressed, if it's not coded, then if it's H, then we'll print out hey. Otherwise we'll print out what key it is. Okay, if I run this and bring this up here and I press my other keys, it'll show them. If I press H, it'll say hey. If I press Shift H, it'll do capital letters. So capital letters are different from lowercase letters. So if you can do this or key equals H like so. Now click around here, press some other letters. Now H, and I'm holding Shift, it says hey. So that's a little handy note for those. Now for the key coded. These are special keys that like the arrow keys, and actually not the space bar. If you want to make it say something if the space bar is pressed, let me undo these H things we have. We can just do a space inside of here and then press space. So it looks kind of weird because like it's a blank space, but that's how it works. So here's some no letters and numbers, and then when I press space, that's how it works. Okay. In Keycode, now I'll get to this. So if these aren't simple chars, these are something else. So what you have to do is Keycode is equal to like up for the up arrow key. So this is handy for making games if you want to use arrow keys as opposed to WASD or something. So up, left, right, down, etc. You can also do Alt, Shift, Home, and like a few others. Check out the documentation if you need help. So if we press the up arrow key, then we'll print out make our non-existent character move forward. Because we're not making a game right now, but we will. So we click, and that works. We type in our letters, we type in space, that works. Press the down arrow key. Ooh, but we have it set to up in here, so press the up arrow key, make our non-existent character move forward. Okay, sounds good to me. And that's the key pressed. So there you go. That's that right there. Now let's also if mouse is pressed, let's also do one more thing inside of here. Let's print out one more thing. We're going to do distance to mouse pointer. Okay, there's a special function for distance. Just like type in dist, and then it takes 2 points. Remember from the graph we have points, so we can do from 0, 0 to mouse x, mouse y, and this will report the distance from the top left corner to our mouse position. So this is 0, 0, and then if we drag our mouse, we'll see that when we bring it up, our little square up here, it's a really low distance. And we bring it far away. This is the distance, by the way, and this is where it's clicked. So bring really far away, that's a much higher distance. Simple way to do distance, and you can do it from points, not necessarily from objects. That's pretty cool. Say when we press another key, like instead of, okay, let's backspace these. So let's do, when you press T to find out what time it is, let's print out the current second. Okay, you can just do second like this. Run this. Bring this up. We still have our clicking, our pressing our letters, pressing up. And now when we press T, the 46, look, so that's the second displaying down there. I'm just holding down T right now. You can see it increases. 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. Okay, and then it goes back to 0. Okay. And yeah, that's seconds. There's also millisecond, if you ever need that. Helpful for finding the delta time, which I'll go over for games too. That's a difference in time per each frame. So I'll press this, so as you can see that there's a lot of numbers there. They go up much higher. You can also see that this is like, this goes up, this row goes up in each second. Okay, that's milliseconds. We can do minutes. Okay, right now it is 6:14, so when I press T, it should say 14. Indeed, okay. I can do hour. Like I said, it was 6:14, so it should say 6. So when I press T, okay, it says 18. So you'll notice that it goes by military time. So if you subtract 12, you get 6, and that's what time it is now. So you can always subtract 12 if you need to find out Like if it's higher than 12, you can subtract 12 to get the regular time. Okay, that's hour. What other ones do we have on here? Second, minute, hour, day of week, date. So day of week and date. Some of these you'll need an extra program to use, and I'll probably show how to do that another time. Day. You can do day. Press T. Okay, so it's the second day of the month. Indeed it is. Okay. So that date, no, okay, just checking. Month. It is the third month of the year. So if I press T, we get 3. And year. Okay, let's see how this works. And you press T for time. It's 2015. Okay, thanks for watching my video on sensing blocks. I'll be doing a YouTube intro competition and giveaway later this week. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.